Tell, Cockerel. He's just a true guy. You'll have a true time. Tell, Cockerel. Leave your troubles at the door. You know the game, you know the score. We're here to have fun, so holster that gun and read the writing on the wall. The predictions league, done every week. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. Jose gets himself around. Always talking Spurs, wherever he is found, home or away. He always tips to win, throws the form book in the bin with a cheeky knowing grin. Tell, Cockerel. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. The predictions league, done every week. It just goes on and on and on and on. Why do I always get it wrong? Every time I play along. Tell, Cockerel. The show is so chilled, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerel. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel. The show is so chill, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerel.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Tell Cockerel. Jose and Chang talk Tottenham. I hope everyone's well. Good morning from me, and it's a good evening from Chang. Our clocks have all changed, so we're trying to get our timings correct and right. But yeah, welcome everybody that's with us or going to be with us. It's nice to see you all. I hope that you're well and all blessed on this Sunday. Still Sunday for us because it's early. Still Sunday for Chan because he's not had his dinner yet. And I suppose it's still Sunday for those people that are not woken up yet in the other side of the Atlantic. So, Chang, good evening to you. And how are you, mate? How are you?
Good evening, Jose, and a very good evening, everyone who's tuning in right now, whether you're watching this live or on playback. Today is the 26th of October, 2025. It's now 7 p.m. Here in Southeast Asia. We are, let's see now, we are 5.5 hours away from kickoff from our away league game against Everton. Absolutely looking forward to that. But before we go into that, I believe we still have a midweek review of the game away in Amsterdam against Ajax, and possibly even a quick review as well of last weekend's rather disappointing defeat to Aston Villa. But without further ado, straight back to you, Jose.
Yeah, so yeah, it's the last time that we met, Chang. We just had a victory just before going on to the international break. Then we get the 2 weeks of the international break. And then last weekend, couldn't do a show because I was at the Villa match. So this is the first show since. So, of course, because we do things in sequential order here, we will be talking about the last week. And the last week must include and must start with Aston Villa. So, Chang, what were your thoughts on the Aston Villa game? And the thing is, we need to talk about it, right? You can't always give roses and flowers to people. We have to
Yep,
be honest, and when we in our assessment of what we believe, and Villa was last Sunday.
that is correct, Jose. And I think it was during either the pre-match pump up or the previous week. Oh no, it was on a Friday. It was a Friday noon show when I was doing a preview with Miss Kate and Mr. Boxell, as well as Miss Jessie over on the Perfect Match. I did say that this was going to be one of those games of fine margins, and fine margins it was. I think that's the only way to describe it. 2 quality goals from Villa, an early goal from Spurs. Multiple times did we hit the upright or the woodwork, if I remember correctly. And in the end, I think it was those 2 goals by Villa that made the difference. Of course, we could have made the substitutions a whole lot earlier. I do think that Thomas Frank did have Wednesday night. Yeah, it was Wednesday night. He had Wednesday night in mind when it came to the substitutes as well as managing the squad. And when we did see the squad come Wednesday night against Ajax in Amsterdam, my worst fears were answered. But
Monaco.
for Villa, I think it's one of those games when the score is tied at 1 apiece, next goal wins the game. That's what I always believe in this sort of close matches. And the moment they scored their second, there was only ever going to be one winner, regardless of who we threw on. And that, I think, was also the case against Ajax, but I'm going to save that for later. I think the Villa, there's lots to be learned there, lots to pick up, and we have to move on. I will say this about our midfield, though, that midfield duo of Bentancur and Palhinha. We did actually touch on this a bit on that Wednesday night when we played Ajax during the
Monaco.
pre-match pump-up. Sorry, in Monaco. Yep, Monaco. Sorry, not Ajax. It's always Monaco. I keep messing up Ajax and Monaco. It was Monaco. And that midfield duo, I'll bring this up again. Palhinha and Bentancur. I mean, yes, away on our travels, we need to solidify that midfield, but at home, if we aren't offering anything going forward, especially if we still haven't been able to call upon the services of Madison or Kulusevski to operate as a 10, then we have to find some sort of outlet, and possibly maybe one of Pepe Matassar or even a fit Bissouma would have been a better fit to sort of push forward with Bergvall leading the charge. But let's just see which are the 2 midfielders that will be called upon to fill up that number 6 and number 8 role later on this afternoon away at Goodison against Everton. And I think it's going to be the first time. It's the first time that we are visiting the new Everton Stadium. It would be something that we need to improve massively upon from last Sunday, and that includes the substitutions. Last Sunday, I think we saw Kolo Muani for the last 10 minutes. Then against Monaco, I think it was 20 minutes or so, where he came on for Richarlison. For today, I really do hope we see him a whole lot sooner compared to last Sunday against Villa. But all in all, Jose, I think we are still lacking that attacking threat going forward. If you were to look at our XG and also the chances we created against Villa at home, and that defensive solidity. When I saw that Romero pulled up and he was taken off as a precaution even before kickoff. Then that tells you what a big miss he's going to be in that back four. And it was a big miss when those two goals from range from Villa were scored against us. We could have closed down the opposition a whole lot sooner, especially at home, given the given the amount of space that they had coming forward. I really do hope we don't see anything of that sort again later this afternoon against Everton. Whatever us fans think about Vicario, his frailties, his shortcomings, whether his distribution or his handling is concerned. Last Sunday, we saw maybe the darker side of Vicario, but then against Monaco, we saw the complete polar opposites. Today, we have no idea what we're going to get. We just hope it's something that we can be proud of. Hopefully, it's not going to be another man of the match performance by Vicario, because that means that we are offering nothing going forward. And against Villa, I thought apart from the first 5-10 minutes when Bentancur scored that opener, we didn't offer anything much going forward. So that has to change today. But all in all, Jose, my final thoughts on last Sunday's disappointing loss to Villa. The first one would be the substitutions. As I told you, when we played Monaco, if we are to make substitutions, it should be done a whole lot sooner. Granted, maybe, just maybe, the boss might have given some kind of pep talk that could have affected change from the kickoff for the second half. That wasn't apparent last Sunday, and if substitutions are to be made, it has to come a whole lot sooner. Let's learn from last Sunday. And finally, I think once again that midfield pairing, it has to be addressed today. We saw a lot of sideways and backwards passing between Polinia and Bentancur last Sunday. I really do hope that something does change today. But otherwise, I would still stick with Richarlison up front. I thought he did hold the ball up well by himself last Sunday against Villa. Unfortunately, I think there was one particular effort on target he managed to get in the first half, and that was about it. That was about all he could offer. Although I think it did hit the uprights, but other than that, there wasn't much coming from him. Yeah, let's put that disappointing home defeat to Villa to rest. It's only 2 defeats in the league so far, both of them coming at home against Villa and Bournemouth. We still have, I think, what is the best away form in the league, even after last night's matches. So let's keep that up today against Everton. So onwards and upwards. And without further ado, back to you, Jose.
So you better say hello to some people, because there was no one here when we started, and now we've got some people. Good morning, Ryan Tristane. I hope you are well, sir. I hope you're well. So good morning to you. Ronnie, good morning, Ronnie. I hope you are well, sir. I hope you're well. And then I've got Nita. Nita says, morning, Jose and Chang. I hope you're both well. Good morning, Nita. Are you back in the country? Have you finished your jaunt in Spain, in Castellon? And then we have Shemtown says, good morning, Mr. Bossman, Jose, and the youngest looking old man, Mr. Jimmy Chang Chang. Hope you're both well today. I see Sar's face on milk cartons because he's disappeared. I think he's tied up in Frank's basement. Ronnie is going off piste, saying, had a shocker this week. 5 Premier League games and 3 bonus games so far played this week, and I have 1 point. I've got slightly more than that, Ronnie, but I haven't got any greens. I ain't got any greens, but there are people with greens. We can talk about that later, maybe. If not, that comes tomorrow after the last 5 games are played today. Nita says Sar needs to play today, and Ronnie says I want Gray, Bergvall, Sar in my midfield today. And here we have Blaine says, morning lads, Jose, it was a real pleasure to finally meet you last weekend. I'm away from home today, hence I couldn't join you guys, but might be free next Sunday. No worries at all, Blaine. I hope you are well, sir. Obviously, if you're going to be free next Sunday, it means you haven't got a ticket for Chelsea yet. Because when I spoke to you at the ground last week, you said you were going to try and see if you can get a ticket for Chelsea. So obviously, you haven't got Chelsea. Because I'm at Chelsea next Saturday. I'll be at Chelsea. Tigaro says, g'day, lads. Bit late for me, but I hope you're all well. Come on, you Spurs. Nightle. Tigaro, God bless you, sir. Thank you for popping in. I hope you are well. I hope you're well, Tigaro. And we'll catch up soon, Ty. Right. So I'm going to rewind the clock back to last Sunday. Right. Oh, look who it is. It's Mr. Bonner. Says, good morning, folks. Hope you're all well and looking forward to the game later. I'll take a draw. Sarr needs to start again. Simmons on the left. And Nita says, yes, Jose, she is back, but still knackered. And Blaine says he's not going next weekend. His flight and hotel were too expensive. Plus, I have a meeting in Swindon the day after. Well, Swindon, eh? Swindon. Well, no worries, Blaine. I'll meet you for the Man United game because you're going to that. So am I. So I'll meet you for the Man United game. Right. So I'm going to go back to last Sunday. Right. Last Sunday. Listen, I think the combination, if I'm going to talk about Bentancur and Paulinho, I believe that can work. If one of them decides to break the lines and step in rather than both protect the defence, if one of them, once you've done your protecting, step forward. You know, when you've got an opportunity, instead of hanging back, step forward and attack. Yeah. It's interesting that we're saying that. Who scored our goal?
It was Bentancur, I believe. Bentancur, and he celebrated. No, he celebrated. I mean, don't get me wrong. Bentancur, there was a wicket deflection. There was a wicket deflection that totally bamboozled Emilio Martinez in goal. But otherwise, you have to be in the right time, the right place to even afford the shot, and he did that. And kudos to him for notching up that goal. But yeah, this is why one of them has to be adventurous. One of them has to actually venture forth. So it's like it's like a rotation. One high up and one dropping back.
Yeah. So to me, I think it can work. It can work if you take that step and try and break the lines, right? So instead of just holding back, break the line, step forward. Now, we know that not one, but both of them can do this. Everyone's going to say Paulinho is this defensive midfielder, but Paulinho can get forward. Paulinho scored a couple of goals this year already, and he scored them from just outside the box, not from the halfway line, just outside the box. So it shows that they can venture forward. So I think it can work, but they need to take the shackles off and step forward with the ball and help out. Last week against, I saw this against Bournemouth, Chang, and I saw this against Villa last week, right? We are hamstrung. We look lopsided, right? So being in the south stand, you can see the whole of the pitch. So you can see the whole of the game, both when we're attacking the north stand first of all, and then when we're attacking the south stand in the second half. Kudos gets double and triple banked. So the space then is all on the left-hand side. So when we were cross-field passing and we were trying to open up the play for Odegaard always got one-on-one. He always had the one-on-one with Matty Cash. He didn't have 2 and 3 people on him. It was one-on-one with Matty Cash. In the whole time, because he got substituted, Odegaard, in the whole time Odegaard was on, he took Cash on once. In the whole game, he tried to take him on a one-on-one once. Now, either you're going to have 2 one-on-one merchants on either flank, or we're going to have to heavily rely on Kudos to be the one-on-one merchant, and then whoever's on the left has to work harder. If you're not going to be the one-on-one, work harder, do something different. There's no point hugging the touchline if you're not going to take the player on, in my eyes. I felt that I called it, and I'm going to be brutal here, I called it the coffin bowl. I'm going to the coffin bowl. And that's what I'm going to call it from now on. When I keep saying to people that your fans should be your 12th player or 12th man, our fans are not the 12th man. When we played at White Hart Lane, right, the atmosphere in White Hart Lane was absolutely fantastic. All 4 corners of the ground would sing and get behind the team, right? However, I found that when I go to the new stadium now, and the South Stand was built for a reason, right? the South Stand will break out in a song like "We're the Paxton, we're the Paxton, we're the Paxton Tottenham," and then some of the shelf will sing "We're the Shelf side," and that's it. And there's a bit of singing before the game starts, like "Can't Live Without You," the Tottenham, the song at the start. Other than that, it was completely flat. It's always been flat. When we go 1-0 up, you get the cheer I expect is the whole roof comes off when you score a goal. The roof doesn't come off when we score a goal, and then Villa had Villa had two sections, had the bottom and the top section, but in the corner, the north and the east stand, and I could hear Villa singing. I could hear their supporters singing. And I'm just thinking to myself, really? So it was flat, really, really flat. So that's another thing that that took my note. I felt the football was flat as well, really, really flat. And yeah, you're quite right. I noticed because I was in my seat early, and I noticed because I videoed it. I noticed straight away. I did a video, a quick minute and a half of them warming up on the pitch, the team, and then after that posted it, and then they did their drills. So then it went to the defensive drills. When I did defensive drills, I started filming, and I said to the guy behind me, because they were in the stadium before me, I said, have they made an announcement? Because I heard the team news about an hour ago, and Romero was playing. Have they said that Romero's out? And the guys behind me said, no, why? And I said, because they're doing the defensive drills, and Danso's there. There's no Romero. Anyway, at 10-3, it was so far obvious that Romero wasn't around. And it waited till 10-3 for the announcer to say that there'd been a change and that Romero was out and Danso was in. During the game, yeah, we've got a weapon in Danso's throws, right? But if anyone watched the game, Danso's throws, who won every, and I mean every single header? Who won it?
I think it was it one of the was it a Spurs player? I don't think it was a Spurs player, was it?
Every single throw that Danso did was cleared and eaten in the air by Amadou Onana. He won absolutely every header. The ball went, and wherever the ball went, Onana headed the ball away every single time. So that throw became ineffective because we didn't have a player that could compete with Onana. Onana just won everything. It doesn't matter who we sent up, Onana won every single header from the Danso throws. And sometimes you've got to mix it up, Yeah, maybe you can turn around and say that substitutions were done slightly later than what you wanted. But for me, we're going to talk about today's game later. But there is a person who's made an appearance both on Sunday and made an appearance both on Wednesday that I would like to see in the lineup today, starting the game. And I asked this question on the last pump-up show we did on We Are Tottenham TV on Wednesday night. I asked the question, Chang, didn't I? If everybody's fit, that we know that Kulusevski's not fit, and we know Maddison's not fit, them two are definitely out of the equation for long term, right? And I said, who would your front four be? If we're going to play with a 4-2-3-1, who's your 3-1? The 3-1 I called for on Wednesday is the 3-1 I'm calling for today. So that's where we are there. Just want to say it's good morning to Jose and Mr. Chang from Graham. Good morning, Graham, sir. I hope you're well. Kiwi Spurs TV's here, says big up my guys. Good evening to you, Kiwi Spurs TV. I hope you are well. Nita says she got to Castellon Airport. The front entrance was locked. Had to wait for the Man City team bus to arrive after them playing Villarreal the night before. I've got some good photos of their players. Well done, Nita. Did you get any for autographs? Graham says, Jose, do we need canned singing and cheering then? I just don't think there's any. Honestly, I just felt it was flat. I'm hoping we're playing Chelsea next weekend, and I'm going to be there. I'm hoping that we raise the roof against Chelsea, because there's no way that I can come and hear Chelsea out sing Tottenham next Saturday as well. That'd be criminal. Wayne Bonner says, yep, I've experienced that at the new stadium. The crowd can be invisible and silent while the away fans sitting away. The lane atmosphere was something special, says Wayne. And Wayne says we have to be quicker in attack, especially with our passing. Pass and move, apply quick pressure and get the job done. Too much slowing down and holding on to the ball. Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that, Wayne. We got a weapon in Danso because let's face it, Romero's in the side, Danso doesn't play, right? When Romero's in the side, you get Romero puts his foot on the ball and Romero breaks lines. Romero makes crossfield passes. We miss his passing and his pressing. We miss it. Danso plays, and then you don't get that, but you get his long throws. So you're swapping one weapon for another, but that weapon was completely nullified against Aston Villa. Now, Everton defensively are not bad, right? But they don't have a 6'4" midfielder like Villa had in Onana. I don't know whether they've got anyone who's 6'4" in their team. So the throws might be different today. They might work to our benefit today. Who knows? Right. So that was Saturday, Chang. Sorry, Sunday. That was last
Sunday.
That
That was
last
Sunday.
And then we move on to Wednesday night in the Principality, Monaco. We did the pump up show on We Are Tottenham TV. And for anyone that's watching today, Chang and I will be on the pre-pump. I will be hosting, but Chang will be guesting again on the pre-pump up show. 3 o'clock this afternoon on We Are Tottenham TV. Come and join us. Come and say hello. The Monaco game, Chang. Did you watch the Monaco game? Because it would have been mad o'clock for you.
Well, I did watch maybe the first half hour of it till about 3:30 a.m. And then looking at the way we were playing, I thought to myself, we would be very, very lucky to even come away with a point. It would be Rangers away all over again. And the fact that I woke up to a clean sheet, I think I couldn't have been happier that we kept a clean sheet away in France for that game. Regardless of whether we scored a goal, for me, that clean sheet was everything. That meant the world to me. That should have meant the world to Vicario as well after the stick he was getting after that Villa game. And I mean, again, this goes to show how much we miss having that creative outlet in the number 10. And that also goes back to what we were saying before the game in the pre-match pump up of the midfield combination of how best to to get forward. But I mean, I can only say so much about Wednesday night from the first half an hour which I watched. We did create the first few chances of the opening exchanges, but beyond that, I don't think we offered much. Richarlison was able to bear down on goal very, very early. But apart from his effort that was closed down very quickly by the Monaco defense, I don't think we offered anything much going forward. And the stats says it all, really. The amount of attempts that we had on goal compared to those of Monaco, as well as the number of saves. I think Vicario made a record number of saves against Monaco. And he's up there with the likes of, I think he joins David De Gea, Nick Pope, and one other goalkeeper of only a handful of goalkeepers who've made like double-figure saves in a European game over the past decade or something like that. And as much as I am elated to know that Vicario was the official man of the match, that is actually worrying signs for me, because it shows me that away from home, especially in Europe, just like against Bodo Glimt, if we are not getting goals from players like Van der Ven or Bentancur or even Palhinha, our strikers or even our forward players aren't exactly offering much. And I really do hope that changes later this afternoon against Everton. All in all, Jose, my final thoughts on Wednesday night's game. I really do hope to see massive improvements going forward, especially that final third, the chances created. Better still, the conversion rate of our chances, if that can be improved, I think that will go a long way to consolidating our away form in the league. I really expect changes, wholesale changes. I'm not sure whether was it Ashmatic. It was either one of Ashmatic or let me see now. Dermot, the Dermatron, who was guessing whether was it a back three of Archie Gray, Danso, and Van der Ven, but it turns out that Gray was playing as a left back, so I hope to see Spence today as the left back, assuming Porro retains his right back position. And yeah, I really do hope that we have better substitutes, because if you to look at that bench on Wednesday night against Monaco, there were far too many young faces. All in all, Jose, that was also another game to quickly, put to bed. I am thankful, however, I am still thankful that we are still unbeaten in our European campaign. Long may that continue. But yeah, it's yet another game where we fail to capitalize on our squad of forward players, the youthful players anyway, in the likes of Odobier and Kolo Muani, and even Tel. Unfortunately, Tel was injured, so he didn't feature against Monaco. I'm not sure if it's going to be available in time soon, but yeah, something has to change somewhere, Jose. And I really do hope that that will be the last time we ever see such a makeshift squad in midweek. Having said that, back to you, Seno Garcia.
I thought he stuck a strong team out against Monaco, to be honest, Chang. So Wayne says Wednesday was bloody awful. We should have some urgency in the final 10 minutes, but we definitely got away with one there. Nita says no, she didn't get an autograph, just the photos of the Man City players. And Nita's being very kind, says don't hit the like button. Please hit the like. Come on, you Spurs. Thank you very much, Nita. Good morning, Adrian. Says good morning, Jose Chang et al. Good morning, Adrian. I hope you are well, my man. Well, my man. Adrian, I'm going to say, do you fancy a stint this afternoon on We Are Tottenham TV? If you do, message me. Nita says Wednesday game was a bore fest. We managed to hold on for a draw. Chang, I'm going to say about Wednesday's game, right? So Wednesday's game, I could have watched a game like that. That's how we played, right? Or I could have hidden behind the sofa, because that's the way that we played. That's the way the game went. Yeah, you're quite right. We've played 2 games away from home in the Champions League, and we've got 2 points from it. People say if you take care of your home games and you pick up anything away, it's a bonus, and you'll do right. You do well. Well, at the moment, we're unbeaten. We hold. What is it? What do we have? 5 points? Yeah, 1 win and 2 draws. So we have a win, which was again, it was a 1-0 win versus Villarreal. We've got a draw away at Bodo and a draw away at Monaco. Okay, so at the end of the day, the one thing that we can say is that regardless of what people may not think, we deserve and we belong in the Champions League. We are one of the top teams in Europe. Obviously, we won the cup last year, the Europa League, but we are one of the top teams in Europe. And at the end of the day, the points will prove that we deserve to be in the top 32. And when you look at the Europa League this year and the teams that are in that and some of the scores that are going on that, you think to yourself, cool, our Europa League challenge last year was a bit better than what this year's is going to be, or what that will show. But anyway, stats, Chang, stats sometimes. Sorry, before I say that, we've got Nige in the house. Says big up Jose Chang and chat. Much love. Good morning to you, Nige, sir. I hope you are well. I hope you're well, mate. So stats either tell your story that's in favour of your argument or against your argument. I've turned around and said that I feel I get the kittens and I get the jitters with Vicario, right? People can turn around and say both goals were well taken for Aston Villa last weekend. I say, and you used to be a goalkeeper, Chan, didn't you? Yeah? Okay. I say that his positioning was awful for both goals. Regardless of the shots, they were awful for both goals. He got nowhere near them, and he always seems to be standing for me in the wrong position for when these goals. The 2 goals against Bodo as well, I thought he was shocking. His positioning was shocking. And there's more, when he gets the ball at his feet. And the surprising thing is, when you watch him in the pre-warm-up, right? When you watch him in the pre-warm-up, right? What they do, the coaches, from about 30 yards out, they pump the ball into Vicario, right? From either side, left and right. And then beyond the halfway line, they have a further 2 coaches. And what they do is they pump the ball in from 30 yards into Vicario. Vicario takes it, traps it, and then kicks it out long. So he's controlling on the ball. It's absolutely superb in a pre-warm up. And then he kicks the ball long past the halfway line directly to where the coach is standing. The coach doesn't have to move left, right, and his passing is absolutely brilliant. Then you watch him in a game and you're like, oh my God, what was I watching in the pre-match? Because I don't, he just, I don't know, he just gets nervous, but in the games he's totally different. Anyway, I've absolutely murdered Vicario. I think Vicario, we can do better as a goalkeeper. Either he does better or we go out and buy better. That's my opinion. Doesn't have to be shared by everyone. That's my opinion. But on Wednesday night, and the stats will say that he's saved so many goals this season and that, but it does, to the eye, it doesn't appear that way when you watch him play. On Wednesday night, I must admit, he made 3 world-class saves. 3 world-class saves. And if you thought the first half an hour that you watched was about, was like that for you, you would be so happy, Chang, you missed the second half, because the second half was murder at dawn. It was absolutely murder at dawn. It was just Monaco, 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 Monaco.
I just had to add something very quickly before you do carry on. On top of the first half hour, I also did watch the Sky Sports highlights of our match against Monaco, and all I will say is I am so glad that Takumi Minamino, the Japanese player on loan from Liverpool, he missed like a few gilt-edged chances where I think he should have at least hit the target, if not buried his opportunities. Let's just say that if he had got some of those very promising opportunities on target, it could have been a whole different story for us. But this is one of those few times where I'm so glad the Premier League players on loan away in other foreign leagues aren't performing as well as they are. Otherwise, they would have stayed with their parent clubs, and that is the case apparently with Minamino. Having said that, back to you, Jose.
So at the end of the day, oh my God, stats will tell you, like I said, stats will tell you that he's done really well. He saved us on lots of goals, X, Y, and Z. And you think to yourself, really? Is that the Vicario I've been watching this season? Because all I've seen is jitters and kittens. But yet, against Monaco, he didn't put a foot wrong against Monaco. I'm just thinking to myself, why couldn't I have had that Vicario against Bournemouth? Why couldn't I have had that Vicario against Villa? Why couldn't I have had that Vicario against Bodo? If I had that Vicario, then results may have been different. But anyway, he went in with a strong lineup. In actual fact, Archie Gray played at left back. And I must say, and I've got to say this, Archie Gray played well. I'm not going to have any other way. From the game that I watched, Archie Gray, had a really good game. He tried to progress up the pitch with the ball. He was attacking. I thought Archie Gray came in and handled himself absolutely brilliantly. Again, playing in a position that supposedly is meant to be alien to him. It just goes to show the kid's doing it in the Premiership. He's doing it in Europe. He's playing centre half, right back, left back, centre midfield. Wherever you put the lad, he puts a shift in. Whether people like him or not, and people aren't happy that he was bought for 40 million, we spent 40 million, and we were going down youth-centric route and that. Park that bus at the back of park that bus at the back of the car park and just take it for what it is. The boy played well. Simple. Sorry, just catching up with the comments because we're talking Monaco. You have Nige says we've been poor in Europe on the whole since Poch. Even last year, though we won a lot of games, we were poor to watch. I don't take a lot of notice for European form. And Nigel's agreeing with me 100%. Nape, the ape is here, says, morning, gents. Good morning, Nape. I hope you are well. Nice to see you. It's been a minute. Nita says, yes, Vicario's on points. Someone had to step up, my lord. Jun is here, says, yes, Jose and Chang. Big up. My favourite Asian is here again. Big up. You have your supporter, Chang. Wayne says Vicario can be a good goalkeeper, but by God, he can be Jekyll and Hyde. We definitely need to look at an upgrade. There we go. Then we have, oh my Lord, that game. I'm trying not to let my cussing come back. Sunita must have been cussing at the TV screen. Nigel says Archie Gray has impressed this season when given the chances. Nate says all good there. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Nate. And Wayne Bonner says Gray played well. I like him. Good player. He's going to be backup defender this season, in my opinion. But I'd like to see what he can do in midfield. It's interesting, Wayne, because we beat Burnley, opening game of the season. I was there. Gray started that match. Was it Gray and Sarr or Gray and Bergvall? What, two of them started that game, and then the other one got substituted against Burnley.
I have to check back. That's quite some time ago, Jose. I know it's only
opening game of the season. It was Gray and Sarr, or it was Gray Bergvall, and it might have been. I don't know whether it was Bentancur and Paulinho that was the third player. All three didn't start, but Gray started, and he played with either Sarr or Bergvall, and whoever it was that didn't start out of Sarr and Bergvall, they were substituted in the second half. But yeah, at the end of the day, you've got to give him opportunities to play in that midfield. You have to. I saw earlier, I think it was Ronnie said that he'd like to see a midfield of Gray, Bergvall, and Sarr, which means that you get high energy in the midfield. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, with Monaco, look, we've picked up another point. It wasn't pretty to watch, not for a Tottenham supporter. It wasn't a pretty game to watch. It was very, very painful. And like I said, it was either you watched it behind the sofa or you go like that. That's it. That's all you do. Wayne is saying Graham Bergvall started the game against Burnley. But yeah, it was high. You get high energy from them three players. But yeah, Monaco, as I said, we take the point, we run, we move on. The interesting thing is, though, is from last Sunday, Chang. We played last Sunday. We played on Wednesday. We play today. We go again. Is it on Tuesday or Wednesday this week? We go again against Newcastle. Then we're Saturday. Then we must be the following Tuesday. We're in Europe, and then it'll be Saturday against Man United. The games are coming thick and fast. So he's going to have to shuffle the pack. He's going to have to shuffle the deck, which could mean. Which is interesting. What do you do today? Do you need 3 points today? Is basically what he's got to look at. How is he going to get? Does he need 3 points today? And does he need to get past the champions of the Carabao, Newcastle, during the week? So he's going to have to mix and match the team. So what are your expectations of Everton today, Chan?
I honestly feel that we have to improve our league form, regardless if it's home or away. The away form is doing well. And as far as the league is concerned, our bread and butter, I think it's important for us not to lose back-to-back matches in the league. I would still expect us to try at the very least to avoid defeat today, just much as I want us to win. I still think that we are kind of wafer thin on the squad right now, especially if you look at that subs bench on Wednesday night against Monaco. And yeah, for today against Everton, I think it's very, very important that we avoid back-to-back defeats in the league, because one too many defeats, especially when you accumulate it, you become Liverpool. And I think that's something that we won't want to inflict upon ourselves. Granted, yes, I know that we have a long season, a long campaign ahead of us, which is why I think regardless of whomever Thomas Frank puts on today, we will still be supporting them, be it a starter or someone else coming off the bench. They are going to have our full support, but we need to now see changes. And I think that is the one thing that a lot of people will be looking out for. Will we start with Simons out wide on the left? Will we still be starting with Archie Gray in left back, or is it going to be Jet Spence at left back? Will we still see possibly Kolo Muani maybe coming on only in the second half for a cameo? And yeah, I forgot to say this too on Wednesday night when we did the pre-match pump up, especially when Mr. Ashmatic, he suggested to me that I should pick Kolo Muani as our goal scorer. Well, if Kolo Muani is to feature today, I hope he gets more than half an hour. I know his fitness isn't there yet to last the whole 90, let alone be a starter. But I think he should get more and more game time as the season progresses. So hopefully today we see a whole lot more of him, and if he holds up, we might even see him starting on Wednesday. I checked now; it's Wednesday evening, or rather Wednesday nights, in which we're going to be playing Newcastle away in the League Cup. So there will be changes to be made, but on the whole, I think we have to now look towards consolidating. Whether it's consolidating in the league or just consolidating in the cups, I think Thomas Frank has a decision to be made. I honestly feel that we should stick to performing well in the league, regardless of how we are doing away in Europe or even at the domestic cups. So I expect us to feel our strongest 11 today. Hopefully, we get a victory, which would then leapfrog us to second. If what I'm seeing here is correct, we would leapfrog up to second in the league table, which is not bad. Which is not bad considering we've already lost 2 home matches, but another away win, and building on that away record of ours, that would go a long way to assuage any fears that the fans may have that Thomas Frank might not be the best fit. But yeah, something has to give now from between now to the end of the year before we can afford to consolidate on our squad again when the January transfer window opens up. I am going to repeat this again, what I said on Wednesday nights when we played Monaco. We cannot afford any more niggles, injuries, or even suspensions, long-term suspensions too, for that matter. So let's just play a good game without having to strain ourselves far too much, because we still have Newcastle and Chelsea back-to-back coming up. So let's just soak up today's match. Let's just enjoy Everton away while we still can. We will be turning our attentions towards Newcastle after today, but for the time being, everybody, please stay patient with Thomas Frank, our players, our subs, even our own fans. Yes, some of us may have differentiating opinions. We may be somewhat fickle at this as far as comes to supporting our club, but this is what makes us special as fans. And we saw the best of Vicario on away at Monaco. We saw a different Vicario last Sunday. Let's just see what kind of Vicario we're going to get today, because if last Sunday was any indicator, let's just hope we get the Vicario from Wednesday night to play away today at Everton. And as far as that midfield goes, I think we have to ring the changes. That's the only way to actually get some sort of creativity going forward. And for those of us who were crying out for Simons to be moved back to the number 10, rather than to be wasted on the left, well, here we are again. We are back to where we were at the beginning of the season, where now fans are calling for him to be on the left rather as the number 10, assuming Odebeer is going to be rested today. So let's just wait and see. Let's just wait and see for the lineups that will be announced in just under 4 hours from now. And absolutely looking forward to today's game. It's going to be quite a late game. I'm not sure if I'm able to watch it because it's going to be a 1:30 midnight game for me, but I can assure you this, everybody, as you as well, Senor Garcia, I will be there at 3 p.m. on We Are Tottenham TV for the pre-match pump-up. I will be trying to read up on as many tidbits or tabloids as far as the predicted lineups are going to be, as well as any more fresh injury concerns. I will say this about the injury front. We are still quite some matches away from full fitness for both Romero and Solanke. Yes, they are both back on the pitch. Yes, they are training, but as far as starting or even being on the bench. There are still some matches away, so let's stay patient. I will say this about our expectations today. I went for a predicted away win. I'm going to give my predictions now, and let's just see if anyone else is going to give their predictions before we end the show. I'm going to predict that we are going to come away with an away win. It's going to be a scrappy win. I'm predicting us to win by 2-1. My tried and tested 2-1. And yesterday we saw a lot of 2-1s. We saw a lot of 2-1s coming the way of Chelsea, Sunderland, and what was it now? I think I can't even remember what were the other 2-1s that started off the Saturday fixtures, but I do hope it's another 2-1, hopefully in the favor of the away team. And yeah, I'm still waiting for Premier League goals from Kolo Muani and Javi Simons. Hopefully both our goals will come from Javi Simons and Randall Kolo Muani today. Having said that, back to you again, Senor Garcia.
Just wanted to correct Chang. Chang said, if we win today, we go up to second. No, we don't, Chang, because we play last today. So other games take place at 2 o'clock. If Bournemouth beat, then they're at home. Bournemouth beat Nottingham Forest, they go into second. If Manchester City win away at Aston Villa, they go into second. Bournemouth go into third. If we then win, we will go into third, but I think above. Is it Bournemouth? No, Bournemouth have a point more than us. So if Bournemouth and Man City both won and we won as well, we'd be fourth. So we can't get to second. It would be second if the other teams weren't playing or the other teams lost in front of us. Right, going back to the chat because we've had some people put some comments in. So you've got Nita says players like Graham, Bergwall and Sarr needs to be in the team as much as possible. They're the players that can improve, just my opinion. Wayne is also saying Bergwall's a good player, but needs time to improve his game. Nape says, hopefully this is our dip this season and things can only get better. Looking forward to seeing players returning from injury. Do we know who's back when? At the moment, all we know is that Romero is out, Solanke is out, and there was another player that's out. Dragoson's still out. Madison's going to be out. Kulu's still out. So, you know, it'll be more or less the players that we've been seeing recently and those that have been coming off the bench that probably play in the next 2 games. Finn is here. Good morning, young Finn says, morning, guys. Good morning. Wayne says leagues are more important. Ryan said that he was sitting nice and calm on Wednesday. Vinders is in the house. Says big up Jose Chang, big up chat. Don't worry if it goes tits up. I will be in the Spurs chats giving my friends moral support. Anything for my friends. He's asked us a question which I'm going to leave. Ryan says, Chang, why not go far in the League Cup? Please explain.
Okay, I hope I'm audible. All right, so now that we've already broken our silverware hoodoo in the form of the Europa League, I honestly feel that this season, Thomas Frank's first full season, we should be consolidating our league form so that we do qualify for Europe via the league rather than the Champions League, which looks a long shot from now. I know that we can still qualify for Europe via the domestic cups, and assuming we get past the holders Newcastle, then we should, have a better tie or win a better draw for us in the next round. But as far as building up our squad and giving game time, much needed game time to players who need that game time, be it the youngsters or be it the fringe players, I honestly feel that we should be using our domestic cups and even Europe to a certain extent, provided we've already qualified for the next round. We should use that as a sort of a test bed to get our fringe players up to speed. And this is a big if we are progressing well in the cups, then yes, we can start planning for maybe a quarter-final, a semi-final, or even a final date, if and when we do progress further. But until such time, until we actually see some sort of semblance of a rotation, I think it's very risky for us to focus solely on the cups and forsake our league form. That actually cost Big Ange his job last season. I doubt it Thomas Frank is going to want to be doing the same. He would very much he would very much like us to make it through to Europe next season via the league rather than the cups, as I mentioned earlier. So let's just wait and see how this month, or rather the end of the year 2025 plays out. Don't forget that we are going to have Chelsea away next the moment we play Newcastle. So I would think logically that we will feel a weakened squad on paper anyway against Newcastle if it means getting ready for Chelsea. So let's just see how today plays out. And if we do get a resounding win, well, who's to say? Who's to say that we are going to feel a weakened squad against Newcastle? We might even give it a go. We might even see Kinski come on against Newcastle. But all in all, I still feel the bread and butter, that is the domestic league, that is where we need to focus on. Let's just see how we end this year. And if things are going our way, then, only then, we can start thinking of silverware after we have made the most of the January transfer window and see how the rest of the league shapes up before we focus on our season's objectives. Having said that, thank you very much for that query, Mr. Ryan.
Right, so we're going to end the show with your results that you said. I'm going to give Vindaloo a quick answer. It says, Jose and Chang, are you happy with Frank's team selections? And if not, what would you change? Frank, for me, and I think I answer this for both of us, Frank's got challenges of playing games week in, week out, a bit like your manager has. And you make the decisions on what you think is the best team to play on that day. The one thing we don't know, and I keep saying this all the time, is we're not on the coaching parks. We're not in the training ground. We don't know who's in the red zones, in the green zones, who needs a rest, who doesn't. So the team will rotate. In Frank, we trust. So there's your answer, Vinders. Wayne says 2-2. I'd rather take a win, but I'd take a draw. That's Wayne Bonner. Nita says, I put us to win. That's me. Nate the 8 says 3-0 to Spurs today. Everton with a red card. And Ryan says, I think we could focus on the domestic cups and the league, Chang. I agree, Ryan. We can focus on absolutely everything, and it's what I've just said. You pick, and in answering Vindaloo's question, you pick the best team to play each given time, depending who's in what zones. I've gone for a 2-0 Tottenham win, but that's because I always back Tottenham. So there we go. But anyway, guys, going to keep it short. We're only keeping it to an hour today because I've got to shoot. I've got some stuff to do before I'm back at 3 o'clock with We Are Tottenham TV. Come and join us. I will be hosting there. Chang will be on there as well as a guest. So come and join us if you want to hear some pre-match pump up on We Are Tottenham TV. And all I've got to say is, finally, Chang, your final words are?
Come on, you Spurs! Thank you very much, Jose, as always, for having me back on this noon show of Jose and Chang. I very much look forward to the pre-match pump-up in just under 3 hours from now at 3 p.m. British time. To anyone who's traveling to Merseyside, have yourselves a fantastic match day ahead. Stay safe on your travels. To everyone watching on the telly or tuning in to any live watch alongs, keep in mind that it's still very much early days in the season, so anything can happen from between now to the end of the year. I think it's very, very important that regardless of the result in the next coming weeks before another international break, we fully back Thomas Frank and the players. Keep the faith, everybody. Up the Spurs, and see you all soon.
Thanks for that, Chang. Can I ask people that on your way out, please hit that like button. Thank you very much. Ronnie's gone for a 1-0. Get the 3 points. Up the Spurs. Enjoy your Sunday, people. We'll be back tomorrow for the predictions, score lines. We'll be back for Chang and Jose next Sunday as well. Take care, everyone. God bless you all. And come on, you Spurs.
Tell, Cockerel, he's just a true guy. You'll have a true time. tell, Cockerel, leave your troubles at the door. You know the game, you know the score. We're here to have fun, so holster that gun and read the writing on the wall. The predictions league, done every week. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel. He's just a cheery guy. You'll have a cheery time. Tell, Cockerel. Jose gets himself around. Always talking Spurs, wherever he is found, home or away. He always tips to win, throws the form book in the bin with a cheeky knowing grin. Tell, Cockerel. He's just a cheery guy. You'll have a cheery time. Tell, Cockerel. The predictions league, done every week. It just goes on and on and on and on. Why do I always get it wrong? Every time I play along. Tell, Cockerel. The show is so chilled, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerel. Goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel. The show is so chill, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat,